this video, we're going to go over yesterday's release, which was version 1.4.5, which happened on January 13th, 2016. This release includes a bunch of small tweaks and updates. We're also laying the architecture for some big new things that are coming in the next major release of LifterLMS, which we'll get into in some other videos. But in this video, we just want to go over some of the changes that happen to the permissions, and that gives you more control over that and helps you understand what permissions is all about. So tell us about permissions, Thomas.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. We've done a pretty significant overhaul to the way we assign permissions in the admin panel of LifterLMS. It's something that we've kind of ignored up until this point. We have on our roadmap a much more complicated and robust system coming, but for now we're giving developers the ability to customize and tailor the access of what WordPress administrators can access based on various screens and custom post types that we register and create for you when LifterLMS is installed. So currently, or up until 1.4.5, so everything previous to 1.4.5, allowed any WordPress users with the edit posts capability to access everything LifterLMS has to offer. That includes settings, the ability to create new courses, lessons, quizzes, edit all of that stuff, manage permissions, including payment gateways and checkout permissions and things like that. And in a default LifterLMS installation, this didn't cause any issues. The only custom role we install is the student role, and that role is basically a contributor, which does not have the ability to edit posts at all. Sorry, I think contributor is the wrong word. Well, you can look up the capabilities though, but basically just a subscriber is the role. The student is basically a subscriber in default WordPress capabilities or roles. So we've changed that. We've hardened the permissions. So now anybody with the manage options capability can now access everything LifterLMS has to offer by default. And the only WordPress role that has that capability by default is the admin role. So it's much harder. And the reason we've done this is we've found that bbpress grants edit post capabilities to any form user. So if you had previously a LifterLMS site with bbpress, those two play pretty nicely together. We're working on more improvements to make them play even nicer in the future. But up until this point, the only issue we had with them, which was pretty significant, and we don't think many people really realized it because most people don't ever access the admin panel anyway, but it was that form users could then gain access to LifterLMS settings, which is a big no-no. So we've cleaned that up and we've made that impossible. However, if you want to customize that, we've added a ton of new filters that any web developer could hook into and take a look at in order to customize the access level. So I'll just go through this really quick, but on the LifterLMS admin panel, we have this LifterLMS menu and the courses custom post type. So for each one of these menu items, and then for the courses post type and everything underneath this, we now have a setting, a filter which can customize what WordPress capability the user requires in order to see this screen. So if I decide, which is the case with some of our users, that they want to provide a certain WordPress role access to the analytics screen, but not necessarily the ability to customize LifterLMS settings, they can do that via a filter. So they can provide their role access to the admin menu using this filter here, and then to the analytics screen by using this filter, these little code snippets. So for any developer, this stuff will make a lot of sense. It's all just part of the WordPress filters functionality. And it makes LifterLMS a little bit more dynamic and a little bit more customizable, and hardens things a little bit. So we just want to take the time to explain that. That's kind of the major change. And we urge you guys or girls, anybody who's doing active development, please don't just install this and add the filters on your live website. We really, really highly recommend setting it up on a staging site or a local website, testing everything out first, writing all your permissions, making sure everything works properly, and then pushing it live. And if you guys have any questions or need any support with it, please submit a support request. Myself or one of the members of the support team will be able to answer any of those questions. There's a couple other smaller changes too outside of permissions. Mostly it's just some new filters. We've got a couple new action hooks, a couple bug fixes. That's all in the changelog. You guys can take a look at that on lifterlms.com/roadmap.